everyone. In today's video, I'm going to go over the Astra Militarum announcements from the 35 years of Warhammer 40,000 livestream. A lot of exciting news for us Imperial Guard players with a host of new miniature sculpts, units and some indications of the new rules for the codex to come. To manage expectations, there was no discussion about a new tank, Rough Riders or any other regiments beyond Cadians. So to kick off, we're getting a new army set full of resculpted Cadian miniatures that look fantastic. The 20-year-old Cadian miniatures are finally being modernised using the latest in GW manufacturing process, which will give some amazing new detail. The infantry models are greatly improved, with the las guns getting a revamp and their equipment, uniform and webbing being modernised to replicate those of modern day militaries, with some very nice details being the sewn in knee pads, which a lot of modern militaries employ to protect kneecaps of troops when they hit the dirt. There's an absolute smorgasbord of new poses, and it's a massive leap forward from the current range that, to be fair, really has stood the test of time. Now in the live stream, it was confirmed that these will be on 25mm bases, which is an important detail, meaning existing miniatures you own can still be used, as to increase the base size would have an obviously massive impact, given the current miniatures would all need to be rebased, which would be a hideous task to do. The box set contains 20 infantry models, being 2 squads of 10, and they discussed how the new rules, you can either have a heavy weapon team within the 10-man squad, or multiple special weapons to which you get all the options included, which is going to be really cool. In the kit you also get a new command squad, again with some brilliant new models. You get a company commander, Vox cast that looks like a bloke from World War II, a relaxed looting medic, a power fist equipped sergeant, and a relaxed banner bearer with what seems to be a much bigger banner. Base size for these will be 28.5 apparently, so introducing a new size into Astra Militarum infantry models. How the command squad will fit into the new codex is an obvious mystery. Perhaps maybe something similar to the Gaunt's Ghosts, but hopefully well less complicated. Next, the kit gets some refreshed Sentinels, now confirmed as being able to be either a scout or armoured Sentinel. From the pictures, war gear wise, it looks to be all the same, with a multi-laser, plasma cannon, las cannon and auto cannon. The two options do look very distinct, with the scout being way less armoured than the armoured Sentinel, which definitely helps to form some distinction. In the live stream, they did hint that the chain sword will be actually pretty decent in the new rules, with the current one obviously being pretty wasteful. I'd assume their base size also remains the same as existing ones, meaning like the infantry squads, our classic infantry squads and Sentinels will still be able to be played. The last inclusion in the kit is a field ordnance battery, introducing a new data sheet to Astra Militarum. The box set will include 2 of these, being either a multi-missile launcher, heavy las cannon and large bore cannon. Again, these kits look absolutely amazing, with some brilliant detail from the ammo crates and crewmen in a variety of poses. I'm going to guess this will be a key selling point of the kit, given the rest of the models, to be fair, are just updates. I'd expect these to get some pretty crazy rules, with maybe the heavy las cannon maybe being a little bit ridiculous within the confines of our existing Astra Militarum codex, but very normal in amongst all the other 9th edition codexes. Maybe I'll get something like a ballistic skill of 3+, reflecting the stabilizing platforms, but then maybe having a very slow 4-inch move, given how slow it would be for 3 blokes to push one of these around the battlefield. So points wise, everything remains the same as it currently is costed. I expect this to be about just over 300 points. Maybe the Ordnance batteries coming in at 50 points each. So how do I feel about this release? It's very, very positive, given these miniatures look absolutely amazing. The set also includes a codex, and as mentioned earlier, given the base sizes remain the same on the majority of the models, means we'll still be able to use our existing miniatures, which I was very worried about going into this initially. Also shown off was a new commissar that looks neat, and likewise an update of the classic heavy weapon team. Again, these look awesome with some brilliant poses and details, with my favourite being a realistic base plate on the mortar and what seems to be a flare gun on an assistant gunner. Clearly in the 40th millennium, the Astra Militarum hasn't yet discovered night vision, instead relying upon torches and flares for the Emperor. Neither of these kits are included in the army set, but great to see them in more detail. Interestingly, what was shown off today actually really isn't anything new, given they were all teased way back in June, but as I understand it, that article was actually in response to someone leaking these new releases way ahead of schedule. Also of note, nothing was discussed of the then announced Usaka Creed, the daughter of Lord Castellan Creed, whose miniature has now been retired from the model range. Of no news, however, is the indication of how regimental doctrines will work in the new codex, being able to choose 2 doctrines similar to what we currently do from those from the Psychic Awakening and the Greater Good. As I understand it, this is something we used to be able to do in older editions, and if you ever played under that system, please let me know. As explained in a follow-up article, some of these will be thematically based on regiments like Death Korps of Krieg and Mordian, but I do wonder if things like spotter details and gunnery experts will continue into 9th edition codex. I feel this kind of loses some of the identity of Astra Militarum regiments, but given only a few regiments have got dedicated miniatures, this is kind of inevitable, unfortunately. What's interesting is that Mordians do get a highlight, getting their own one, along with Death Korps of Krieg, with the Death Korps getting an improved weapon skill ballistic skill if the unit is below starting strength, and Mordians turning their las guns into heavy too if they didn't move in the previous movement phase, so getting double number of shots at long range. However, how this plays in a rapid fire range will need to be understood in the context of the wider new codex. So a lot of new units for us to drool over, and 2 new units to be played and considered for purchase. As said before, these were the only units announced. The presenters made it pretty clear there are way more to come. They were pretty vague about the release date of all of this, but I'd hedge my bets and say probably about Christmas time, given this is a key trading period for all retailers. Interestingly, nothing was mentioned of the World Eater Codex, with only a new model being announced. Maybe we'll actually be getting a codex before them. So what do you think of all these new models and miniatures? Let me know in the comments. Patrol Platoon, sound off. Tank Commander Glenn. Tank Commander Mitchell. Tank Commander Watchdog Van Etten. Colour Sergeant DuPont. Sergeants Adal, Gilliam, the Colonel Merrill. Veterans Gibson, Hall, Lundeen, Guardsman's Beard, Coquelin, Flint, Hills, Malik, Nitin, Nguyen, Smith, Tom, Tompkin, Conscript Bosun, England, Goodwin.